Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. In the recently concluded UNGA meeting in New York, India has scored a major diplomatic victory. President Erdogan of Turkey, who had gone on a diplomatic crusade against New Delhi back in 2019 over Kashmir, didn't even care to mention the name of the state this time around. The Pakistani media saw its ambitions crumbling in front of its very own eyes, was disappointed and livid at the supposed betrayal by Mr. Erdogan. Let us see the circumstances that led to a much more docile and tempered line being told by the Turkish president this time around. India has undertaken several diplomatic maneuvers to encircle Turkey and to force it into changing its stance on an issue which is clearly India's internal matter. Mr. Erdogan's rants about Kashmir and the supposed atrocities in Kashmir had become a tradition at the UNGA. However, 2024 was totally different. India, as we know, is a major economic and military powerhouse that is increasingly establishing a firm foothold over global affairs. And hence, Turkey's strategy proved to be suicidal the very day they decided to rake up Kashmir at the UNGA. Turkey, under Mr. Erdogan, has of late developed a very belligerent and combative sort of a foreign policy. And where more often than not, vulnerable and small nations like Greece or Armenia are at the receiving end of this aggression. Violations of airspace, provocations by kind of exploring into disputed mineral reserves, incursions into Greek economic zones, and even endorsing the borderline genocidal assault by Azerbaijan in Nagorno Karabakh. Turkey has resorted to aggression as long as it achieves its political and territorial aspirations. India, however, as Turkey should have been aware, is a totally different ballgame. On the military front, India, which is known for unabashedly making firm and dynamic decisions in global affairs, made a borderline provocative move in the conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia by supplying cutting edge defense systems such as the howitzers, Pinaka missiles, ballistic missile interceptors, Akash missiles, anti drone systems, and a plethora of different weapons to the small nation of Armenia. The scale of these acquisitions totally took Turkey and Azerbaijan by surprise. Although the Azeris did capture Nagorno Karabakh back in September last year, however, it begs the question as to why they did not advance into mainland Armenia, given that Russia, which is Armenia's traditional weapon supplier, was embroiled in a devastating war in Ukraine, and the international community was entirely focused on the Israel Hamas war. Circumstances were perfect for Azerbaijan to finally build a pan Turkic state. However, unfortunately for them, guarding Armenia's frontiers were high tech and battle tested Indian weapons. Hence, the Azeris put their expansionist agenda on the back burner for now. Indian weapons have been tested to lethal effect in challenging circumstances, such as the Pinaka rocket launcher, which played a crucial role in neutralizing Pakistani positions during the Kargil War of 1999. India has also stepped up military cooperation with Greece, both on the diplomatic front and the military front. There are meetings happening between the top brass of the two nations. In fact, as we are recording this video, the Indian Naval Chief, Admiral Dinesh Tripathi sir, is on a 4-day visit to Greece to further bolster this booming relationship. In April this year, India and Greece inked a defense cooperation pact to deepen our defense ties. Greece media was abuzz with the news of the Hellenic Republic's armed forces interested in acquiring the BrahMos missiles, especially the anti-ship variant, which would nullify any advantage that Turkey has as far as its ability to wage an amphibious attack is concerned. In fact, even on the international arena, EU and NATO in general are much more likely to side with Greece in case an armed conflict breaks out, since Turkey has been nothing but the little troublemaker in NATO. More to that in some another video. Let us see what domestic problems confront Turkey. In the recently held local elections, Mr. Erdogan's ruling coalition, the Justice and Development Party, suffered several reverses, and we saw an ascendancy of the opposition Republican People's Party. These potential losses are a reflection of the back-breaking economic issues which confront the ordinary Turkish citizen today. Inflation is skyrocketing at 60%, and the lira is in a free fall, losing much of its value against the dollar. And in fact, the 1 lira could fetch you around 13 rupees in July 2019. Today, that rate is just 2.5. Yes, 1 lira can only fetch you 2.5 rupees. Such has been the decline in the value of Turkey's currency. And hence, wary of all these difficulties, Mr. Erdogan certainly saw this as a review of his economic performance. Jingoism and hypernationalism cannot sustain elections for too long. Someday or the other, people will come to terms with the bread and butter issues facing them. Hence, Mr. Erdogan wants to deepen economic cooperation with major economies like India and China, and BRICS would be the best platform to do so. So it all boils down to the membership request of joining BRICS. It cannot happen without India's approval. Hence, Mr. Erdogan wants to soften his ties with India. And hence, we see him ditching Pakistan on the Kashmir issue. To add on to that, one of the final strongholds of the Turkish economy continues to be tourism, with India sending over 2.5 lakh tourists this year alone. Indians are a significant contributor to this sector, and well, the Maldives would know the implications of a strained relationship in case your economy is highly dependent on tourism. Hence, we see the diplomatic ditching of Pakistan at the UNGA is nothing more than a goodwill gesture to refurbish burned bridges with India in the light of India's ever increasing global footprint. India, as a nation, never initiates hostilities with others and would like for the whole world to prosper in concurrence with international law and at the same time maintaining peace and tranquility globally. Thank you so much, friends. In case you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Jai Hind, everyone. Take care.